right. The Outstanding Alumni Award is given in recognition of alumni for outstanding contributions in professional practice, personal achievement, and community service. And we are excited to announce that we have 2 winners tonight, and presenting the first award is SEF Board Member Micah Adams.
Use bigger font. So it's my honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Stephen Owen as this year's Outstanding Alumni Award winner. I've known Dr. Owen, Steve, since the 3rd grade at Moffett Elementary, which no longer exists. After I finished my Lucky Charms in the morning, I'd go over to Steve's house and we listened to Kiss albums and the Beatles before school. Nothing like a little Sgt. Pepper's and Destroyer before homeroom. Music has always been a part of Dr. Owen's life. After graduating from Springfield High in 1990, he excelled at the University of Oregon School of Music, graduating summa cum laude in percussion performance. After earning his master's and doctorate from the Eastman School of Music, he joined the President's Own Marine Band in 2003. Very prestigious Marine Band. He has performed for 4 presidents and is a regular at the White House with the Marine Chamber Orchestra and Jazz Combo. Dr. Owen's performing career also includes tours in Asia and Europe, as well as 49 states. I don't know the 50th one, which one he hasn't been to, maybe Alaska. Education of music has always been a huge part of Steve's life. Not only is he responsible for introducing me to the Beatles, but he's an adjunct professor at Shepherd University in West Virginia and has given countless clinics and master classes all around the country. Dr. Owen also co-authored and performed on the Complete Percussionist Instructional DVD, which is it's a DVD that's used in music schools all over the country, public schools, mostly. So Dr. Owen is not able to join us today. He lives in Virginia, but he has sent us a nice little video. So let's hear from Dr. Owen.
Good evening. My name is Steve Owen, and I am joining you virtually to thank you for this very humbling Alumni Award from the Springfield Education Foundation. Since my early days in Moffett Elementary School through today as a teacher and a mentor of young percussionists, I have never left the world of learning and education. And I am a firm believer in the power that learning and education have to transform both our lives and our communities. A number of years ago, I was giving a clinic with a funk band at a high school, and we were asked to say something not so much about music, but about life in general. They kind of put us on the spot. And I said, when I was a student at the University of Oregon, when I woke up in the morning, my eyes would fly open and I would throw off the covers because I couldn't wait to get down to my studio to practice, to immerse myself in my discipline, in the music that I was learning. I was that fired up. And that is what I hope for everybody, to find that one thing in life that gets you out of bed in the morning. And I say, get up every day and go do that thing with all of your heart. And if you do that, good things will come into your life. And good people, like-minded people, that you will form lifetime bonds with. So thank you once again for this very humbling award, and thank you for getting out of bed every morning and embracing your passion for building better communities through education. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening, and I hope to see you all in person very soon. Take care.
I just feel like I need to say, we're all in a room of like really awesome people, and we all need to go out and do something really amazing. So there's your homework for tonight. And now to introduce our second Outstanding Alumni Award winner this evening, please welcome SEF Board Member Tim Leahy.
Thank you all for joining us on this very special evening, and big extra thanks to the donors, sponsors, and educators in the room. I have the pleasure of presenting an Outstanding Alumni Award to Marshall Cho. Marshall Cho was born in Seoul, South Korea, and moved to the United States with his family in 1986 when he was 10 years old. Marshall and his family settled in Springfield because they had some extended family here and there was a job opportunity for his parents. When Marshall and his siblings arrived, they spoke little to no English, and they had many challenges, not only language, but cultural. I met the Cho family for the first time at Centennial Elementary School when I was 7 years old. As you can imagine, Marshall and his family had many huge challenges to overcome, being new to the country and of course new to the education system. Marshall is the oldest of 3 siblings. Peter is the middle sibling and Maggie is their youngest. Marshall and his siblings attended Centennial Elementary School. They went on to Hamlin Middle School, and Marshall and Peter continued to Springfield High while Maggie attended South Eugene to follow some good friends. Marshall was 3 years older than me, but I was lucky enough to play 1 year of soccer with Marshall when he was a senior at SHS. I can still to this day have very strong memories of Marshall's work ethic, sportsmanship, leadership, teamwork, celebrating some exciting wins. I remember a big win at Willamette. Remember, Marshall and I had a little back-to-back play. And Springfield worked hard in soccer, but we weren't ever really the best. Marshall was one of the captains, and he had a unique way of making everyone feel included, even those who did not see much playing time. I became great friends with Marshall's brother, Peter, who is now a chef and restaurateur in Portland and has donated some packages in the past to the SEF auctions. And Marshall's little sister, Maggie, is a teacher, and my brother, my younger brother, had the pleasure of being good friends with her. After graduating from Springfield High School with honors in 1995, Marshall went on to the University of Oregon, go Ducks. Marshall graduated from the University of Oregon with a bachelor's degree in business administration in 2000. He also received a master's degree in secondary mathematics education from Columbia University in 2003. Marshall is currently the head basketball men's coach at Lake Oswego High School. Since taking over the program in 2015, Marshall's team has won 3 Rivers League title for 3 consecutive seasons while being named League Coach of the Year each of those seasons. Before his coaching career at Lake Oswego High School, Marshall served several educational and humanitarian roles, everything from teaching and coaching for Teach for America in the South Bronx and Harlem, to teaching and coaching in Mozambique, Africa, and even serving as the director of basketball at University of Portland. These are just a few of the educational and inspirational roles that Marshall has undertaken so far, and I know there will be many more. Marshall is married to his wife Connie. Marshall and Connie have a son Nathaniel and a daughter Emma. Marshall invited his schoolmate here with us tonight. This is Buddy Simons, who played basketball with Marshall and attended Springfield High School as well. Go Millers. I am very grateful to know Marshall and the entire Cho family, and I'm honored to be presenting Marshall with the Outstanding Alumni Award. It gives me great pleasure to present Marshall Cho with the 2022 Outstanding Alumni Award for everything he has done for our educational community and being such an inspiration to many students on the basketball court and in the classroom. Marshall Cho.
Hi everyone. Tim, you threw me off because I thought we were taking it after the. Okay. Sorry, still in coaching mode here, but it's an honor and privilege to be here. Even to my younger brother who graduated in '97, Tim gave me the call, and again, Tim was close friends with my brother Peter. Terry's son Josh is also class of '97, very close. And leave it to the younger brother who's accomplished. He's won the James Beard nomination, Michelin star, just the things, the highest honor you could imagine in the chef restaurant world. And he said, "Why are they giving it to you?" Like, what have you done? And honestly, I thought the same thing as I was making the 2-hour drive down here from Lake Oswego. So yeah, you're never lacking humility when you have a younger brother. Or punk, still hasn't changed much. But just sitting here for the last hour, just listening to all the people being honored. I had my violin fixed at Lights for Music many years. So, unlike the 2 other honorees here, I graduated from '95, Springfield High School, graduated from University of Oregon in 2000, and really I've been away from home for 2 decades. And in the blink of an eye, here we are, all of us. And sitting here and hearing all the people being honored, it really dawned on me that I am a product of the work that all of you are doing. That the life that I've had the privilege of experiencing, I don't have it because, again, back in '95, this foundation didn't exist. There's a sense of identity and a belonging, like as many of you said, I'm from Springfield. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I said, "Hey, Dad, you're going down to Springfield, the home of the Simpsons." And yes, and again, for somebody who has spent time on the East Coast, spent time overseas, we all know that there's only one Springfield. And you already know. But again, that sense of belonging and identity that I was able to receive from all my teachers, really, I coach a lot in 3s. Our Lake Oswego High School program, our 3 pillars are courage, presence, and trust. And those are things that we try to live every day. And again, I'm not really good with big lists, but I really thought about 3 different things as I was sitting here. I hadn't had any of this prepared, but it really dawned on me as I was thinking about some names I wanted to mention. Nancy Kingman. Again, these are names I haven't uttered in many years, but I hope that maybe there's 1 or 2 of you, these names will, hey, I know that person. Mrs. Kingman was my first teacher in the United States. And again, as Tim mentioned, that I didn't speak a lick of English. I came in February of 1986. I was repeating 3rd grade. And Mrs. Kingman was the teacher who, again, had all the snacks, took us to pizza parties, did all the things that you went above and beyond any educator is being asked to do. And just seeing, Nancy Stark, you being honored today for all your volunteer work, Mrs. Kingman brought her retired English teacher out of retirement when she had a student who didn't speak. And going above and beyond the ESL one-on-one lessons that I had with Mrs. West, who is still dear to me all these years later, I had the benefit of having 2 private ESL teachers. So within the first 6 months, again, Tim talks about it as if I had to overcome all these things. I benefited from having incredible volunteers back in 1986. I think about Robert Percy and Bob Line. I don't know if these names ring a bell to anyone. These are my first basketball coaches at Hamlin Middle School. I grew up on free and reduced lunch. When you're talking about just food insecurities, I do think about, I never felt like I went without, but that stigma of having to have the free lunch ticket when you're trying to be the cool kid in middle school. You guys remember that? And I was one of many in our district. Grateful to receive free food, but wondering, it was one more thing that kept me from feeling like I belonged. And as you guys know, basketball is like the sport in our country, right? And I am obviously vertically challenged. You don't think of a basketball player when you see somebody like myself. But Mr. Percy and Mr. Line, who were teachers and educators first, this is back in the day when pay-to-play model for sports don't exist, right? The public school education system provided free basketball opportunities. And without that middle school program, I don't experience the career that I've had so far. And I say this not to brag, but this is an inspiration for all of you, that in my high school coaching profession, I am proud to say in front of all of you, I am at the highest level of coaching. I've coached at USA Basketball. I've coached all the players who are playing in the league right now. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, the Blazers, they come and train at our high school. These are relationships that I've been able to build and experience because the first time I played organized basketball was in Springfield High School District. And I think about today because the game has changed and there's a lot of kids in this city that don't have the opportunity that I had, where you all might be coming in to serve that and close that gap. So again, this is a reminder for you that 2 decades from now, the next NBA coach to come out of here, the next NBA player to come out of here in Springfield, they might be in this classroom sitting right now, and they're ready to benefit from the work that you guys are all doing. So I think about those coaches a lot. Bob Line in particular, he passed away, but Buddy and I, we remember his lines. You know, fatigue makes cowards of us all. That's a Bob, you know, that's a Coach Lombardi line. I didn't know who that wasn't, but that was a Bob Line quote. You know, he would say, "Vroom vroom, I'm a self-starter," and we would have to say it back to him. I don't know if that sounded just as cheesy as it came out right now. But when you're in 8th grade and you're playing 8th grade gold, you know, A-team basketball, and Bob Line tells you to do it, you do it. And you do it with enthusiasm, and you do it as if you were playing the NBA championship. In high school, again, I think the words, you know, the terms about mental health, the talk about all the stress that our students have been under. Back in the mid-90s, like, we didn't have counselors, you know, but again, there's Vicky Borvik. I don't know if that name rings a bell. For Vicky was my counselor. Like, I went to her classroom. Like, I went to her little dungeon office. Like, you walk past Mr. Bauer's, like, athletic department, you know, whatever, and I plopped myself down on Vicky's chair, and I would just unload. Everybody thought I was the 4.0 student. I was the varsity captain of 3 sports and all of that. People thought I had my act together. None of us do, and you got all the educators in here know that. Vicky was my counselor for an entire year. And even after I graduated, she was the one connection that I had back to Springfield High School. And so I say these names out loud, knowing that there's many of you who are nodding your heads and thinking of them with fond memories and gratitude. And again, for legacy for those of us who are staying in education. I did teach for 12 years, and I know how hard the work is. When I first joined the Teach for America program in the South Bronx, I had to leave the comforts of the West Coast and really experience students who were experiencing poverty for the first time. And fast forward, and Maria Lively, who's a math teacher back in Springfield, who was my homecoming date in the fall of '94, you know, Maria would make these Facebook posts and say, "I have 40 students and 30 desks." And I thought to myself, I didn't have to experience that. But I know what that's like in the heart of the South Bronx, in Harlem, in inner city Baltimore. I've seen it. And that's a challenge of our own backyard. And again, I'm reminded of how important your work is tonight. I wanted to keep it short, but again, this is really just to point it all back to you guys and how challenged I am to play my small part in just finding a connection back to Springfield. Right before I came here, I called up the current head coach at Springfield High School, Crosby Green. And he and I, he just finished his 3rd year, 29 years old, and I'm like, I don't know if I could have coached. I've been the head coach at 29. But he had just shared with me about how his team had just gone through a season that was 3-21. I mean, that's pretty tough. Was Thurston much better? I don't know. The old rivalries run deep, but that's okay. That's okay. But I was talking to him, but yet at the same time, he was telling me about his fundraising efforts. And this young coach has gone out and raised a budget higher than that of Lake Oswego High School. Yeah. And so I was sitting there saying like, man, I gotta take some notes from you. But again, every year, this is something for all of us to think about, and it's a challenge to me really to start this step in reconnecting with all of you. Every year, the state championship is won, and when they look at the demographics, the socioeconomic demographics, this year in particular, even the 6A, it's Tualatin, it's Westland, it's Mountainside, it's Summit. It's not a public school, private school thing. It's the gap between the communities that have the wealth and the communities that are fighting it, as we are in Springfield, Oregon. And so I'm challenged by it to play my small part as I'm working towards elevating Lake Oswego to a championship standard type of high school program. I look forward to next time, in the coming years, hopefully I'm nominating Crosby to come up here, holding up a state title, and changing that narrative that the school district, the high school like Springfield can hold up the trophy again. So just that's my coaching. That's a coach of me, I guess. Always chasing that championship. But I wanted to just put that out there for all of us. And hopefully this isn't the first time in a long time that I've seen you guys. But hopefully this is a chance for me to reconnect and continue to come back and be connected to you. Thanks so much for this honor. Thank you.
All right, it has been a fantastic evening. Who's had fun just hanging out with people? It's been absolutely great. I just want to thank everyone who came out this evening, including the volunteers on the SEF Marketing and Alumni Committees, our speakers, our award presenters, our wonderful sponsors, our fabulous student musical performers who were here earlier. It was nice to see them performing live in person. Also, a very special thank you to our amazing SEF Executive Assistant, Ashley Malum. Also, a big thanks to the Holiday Inn Express for hosting our event this evening, and we want to thank Shield Catering for the delicious food, Hop Valley for donating the beer, our SEF board members for the wine, and our friend Mike of Life Slice Photography, who always takes lovely pictures for us. We want to thank all of you for being here. It really does mean a lot to us, and helping us recognize the incredible alumni who continue to give back to our community and support our students. Wonderful things are happening right now for our students that would not be possible without your generosity. So congratulations again to all of our award winners. Right after the program, if you don't mind, if you could join Mike over here. We're going to take some even better photos of you with your awards. And thank you to everyone for attending again. This was really special for us, and investing in the success of Springfield students means so much. Have a great evening, everyone.